Hey guys. Oh my gosh. How's it going? I missed you. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here. It's episode 2. We're doing this. We're cruising. I hope your week has been well. It's been a little bit chaotic for me, at least. Right before this recording, I am just getting out of work and settled. Jameson brought the baby home and he's settled in. He got his hugs and his little cracker, and I just made him a bottle. So he's hanging out with dad in the basement. So, probably going to hear a little bit of a ruckus or yelling or screaming or the dog tippy tapping around the kitchen. But that's okay because we're here to have a nice time and catch up because I missed you so much. And I am so happy that you're hanging out with me again today. Um, I hope you had a great week. I don't know if you're listening to this on a walk or on your way to work or just, I don't know, cleaning around the house. But yeah, the weekend for me was great. Is anybody else just like really over how hot it's been? Like it's been aggressively hot this weekend. I mowed the lawn. Yes, I do the yard work around our house. I do the yard work. I mow the lawn and yeah, it's kind of like a workout for me. So I'm okay with that. I like to mow the lawn. And I also went for a walk, but oh my God, it has been so hot. Aggressively hot. Fun fact about me, I have alopecia, which means I have like no hair. Like so I'm sort of bald, but I sort of have hair, like it sort of falls out, but I don't have eyebrows. So when it's hot like this, it's super frustrating because I can very easily wipe off an eyebrow. So that's not cute. It's not cute at all. And that's my cat scratching, scratching and just, having a good time. It seems like everybody in the house is throwing a little bit of a fit today, but it's okay. We're just going to do this. But yeah, hot. I'm so sick of being hot. I don't know if that's maybe what's causing everyone's grumpiness lately. I feel like just the world in general has been so grumpy. Like it is hotter than a jalapeno's armpit. It is hotter than a fresh chicken nugget out of the air fryer. It is hotter than my credit card bill after grocery shopping. It is hotter than the devil's butthole. It is hotter than a middle school dance floor after the cha-cha slide. Basically, it's hot. I got one more. It is hotter than the HOA Facebook page after somebody painted their fence the wrong color. I'm over it. I'm over the consumers' energy bills that I keep getting, which I get it. Everyone's running their ACs, but it's just been so aggressive. I can't even like fathom how I made it through last year pregnant. It's just a miracle I survived. I can't even imagine going through that in the summertime again. So if any of you guys are currently pregnant, bless you. Just you're doing it the best you can. You're doing it great. You're really the true champion because I've been there and, one day at a time, right? We're getting there. So speaking of things heating up, let's check out some funny headlines. I feel like being funny today just because it was kind of a stressful day and I think we need a little bit of laughter. So let's get into it. All right. So I typically do a deep dive. Well, at least that was my plan. I shouldn't say typically because we really have started and it's my show and I can do what I want. So today I'm just going to read some funny headlines because that just sounds like a good time. So here's a few that I found that I thought I would share with you just to keep you current, with what's going on in the news. So the first headline that I found extremely interesting was bird blames for dropping fish on power line, sparking heavy fire in Canada. This bird dropped its dinner on an electrical line. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I feel like Canada's got enough going on with the fires as it is. And now this bird, I think it was an osprey. Maybe I'm wrong. But this bird, yeah, legit was just carrying his dinner and it was like, you know, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm over carrying my heavy fish through the Canadian woods, and we're just done with it. It wasn't a power outage. That was a seafood broil. Yep. So next up, this one was I got a real kick out of this one. Jameson brought it up and decided that he thought this is a really interesting debatable topic. I I'm not sure how I feel about it. So here's the headline. There's a bagel and cream cheese drama spreading on TikTok. Schmears the deal. Schmears the deal. Whoever wrote that headline was extremely clever. That's a good one. That's really a good one. But basically, out of all the things that we could be arguing about on the internet, we're arguing about our cream cheese to bagel distribution. So, I mean, what was so offensive about this bagel? You might be asking yourself. Apparently, the thickness of the bagel to the cream cheese, it wasn't spread evenly enough. But yeah, there's big debate on TikTok. Very riveting stuff. Forget about world peace. Let's argue about schmear thickness. Ugh, that's schmear is kind of a really gross word. Ugh, that's a really gross word. Anyway, I just I just thought that was kind of funny. Up next, Justin Bieber looks lost as Kendall Jenner talks to him. Fans say, "I'd love to be a fly on the wall." Have you guys seen this picture? If you follow Justin Bieber on Instagram, I don't know if it's just me, but I have noticed that he has slowly lost his mind a little bit. Like he's ranting about something that happened to him. Like he's got trauma. Like he's trying to work through his trauma, but I feel like he's just kind of spilling it out into the world. Maybe not the right way. He's like one of those girls on Facebook that is telling you all her life problems and why they are her problems and why nobody can fix them. And there's an excuse for everything. But yeah, I don't know if I just rambled off into something over there. Maybe I saw something else on Facebook. So yeah, Justin Bieber rambling like a teen girl. But for real, I feel like this man is just buffering in real life. There's a lot going on there. And that photo, Kylie Jenner looks great. She was probably just talking to him about I don't know, makeup or something. And I just don't think he could hear her. But apparently that is headline news. So, yes, moving on. Kentucky woman accused of totaling ex's car by pouring glitter in his AC, salt in his engine. Wow, what a headline. What a story. So, this one I did a tiny deep dive into. So, this is a woman named Stephanie. She is 31 years old. She lives in Richmond, Kentucky, and she was arrested on Thursday. I would say Thursday, but I'm recording this, and by the time you hear it, who knows what Thursday that really was. Anyway, she was arrested because she caused $12,500 worth of damage to her ex-boyfriend's car. And the only reason that she got caught is because she told the tow truck driver of the car what she had done. She could have gotten away scot-free, but she was like, no, I'm going to tell this random guy. Were you proud of yourself? It sounds like she was proud of herself because there's no way that you would just randomly tell somebody why you totaled somebody's vehicle. You vandalized it, you destroyed it. So this is what she did. She poured glitter in the air conditioner vent. She cracked his windshield. She cracked his rear view mirror. She busted the vehicle's radio screen. So I'm imagining that's just your center console screen. And then she poured salt into the vehicle's engine. Wow. That's a lot. She didn't just break up with this guy. She bedazzled his transmission. She legit just, sprinkled some magic on that breakup. She was salty. She was just that meme of Ryan Gosling or whoever it is with the salt. Yeah. She did a number on that. But how mad do you have to be to have done that? And then, I was reading more into it, and she said she initially was contacting him in the morning over some dispute about her pregnancy. So, was it her pregnancy with him? Why did they break up? You know, has he, I mean, obviously he has dodged a bullet at this point if he's her ex-boyfriend, because I don't ever remember being that angry when I was pregnant that I would just get that mad. Like, I was a little crazy, like, not even a little. I was probably a lot crazy, which I think is pretty normal for most pregnant women. I remember I was just laying on the couch and Jameson just kept messing with the garage door opener. Then all of a sudden you heard like this big like boom, boom, and the whole garage door just it broke. It broke. And I was like so pregnant and it was like around this time last year and I was just miserable. At that point, I was just kind of like, "Hmm, well, this is on you to fix it. Like what am I going to do by getting mad about that?" Like I still think about it cuz it's kind of funny, but like I would never be so mad that I would destroy somebody's property. So you gotta be some level of crazy in your head, and it sounds like this guy really, really dodged a bullet, and good for him. Stephanie, probably not good for you. You're probably gonna get fined. I mean, well, and now you're, like, on the news and everything, so that kinda sucks, but it is what it is, and, next time you wanna get back at an ex-boyfriend, maybe don't take the Sheryl Crow route, or is it take the Shania Twain route? What's that song? What's that song? Carrie Underwood. Before you take the Carrie Underwood route and carve the name into the side of his pretty little souped up four-wheel drive, just think about it, you know? She did think about it. She bedazzled it. She did not carve her name into it, but just think before you act. That's all. All right, we have made it to tea time. So, what are we talking about today? Today, let's go over that Netflix documentary, The Fit for TV. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's basically a documentary that Netflix did about the show The Biggest Loser, which ran from, I think, gosh, it was like 18 seasons and it started in like 2004. So, that's a long time. It ran majority of the 2000s and into the 2010s. Basically, overweight people were competing against each other to lose weight, but it was very drastic. It was like boot camp. It for people, just normal people who just wanted a little bit of help losing weight and yeah, they wanted to do it on TV. So, what's going on with this documentary? What they're doing is they're interviewing like the former contestants and the coaches, and they're talking about their experiences while on the show. Basically, exposing what really happened behind the scenes that you didn't see on TV because on TV, like it had millions of views. It was probably up there with what is that show? With all the kids, the John and Kate plus 8. But if you gotta think back then too. So, like, think back to 2004. Like, what were you doing in 2004? I was, like, a sophomore in high school in 2004. There wasn't that many options for primetime TV. So, you got ABC or NBC or whatever the show ran on. People were watching that. Like, that was a pretty popular show next to, like, I don't know. I never watched it. I was watching, like, all those trashy reality shows, like Rock of Love and Rock of Love 1 and 2 and 3. I watched all of them. I loved that show so much. And then Daisy of Love was a spinoff that was a fun dating show. Okay, I've gotten off track. All right, so what were some juicy and controversial parts that, I thought personally were in the show? I took some notes. All right. The burning 6,000 calories per day. That is one thing that they made these contestants do. Now, if you think about how many calories that you're just burning on a normal day, burning 6,000 calories is insane. Like that's insane. I went I went for a walk the other day and I went for a 4-mile walk and let me tell you how many calories that burned because there's no way that that was even 1,000. There's no way that was even 500 calories. And it was a walk. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a brisk walk, like a power walked, but there's no way that that entire day even probably burned 2,000 calories. It's just not possible. And so you're expecting these contestants to lose or not lose, but burn 6,000 calories a day. Like that's nuts. That's unhealthy. Okay. So I had 15,986 steps that day. I had 1 hour, a little over an hour, almost 2 hours of active time. So must have been walking. Yeah. So that whole day from my activities that I had clocked on there, I burned 734 calories. And for the entire day was just 2,000 calories. So I was wrong. And then my whole distance was 7.75 miles. So that was just 2,000 calories of me actually, like, physically working out because I wouldn't have walked 15,000 steps in a normal day. I work a desk job. There's absolutely no way that I would have gotten even close to that many steps on my average day. So you're taking an overweight person who is probably in a lot of pain because you have so much extra weight bearing on your muscles. You're out of shape. You're not prepared. Their feet must hurt terribly. All your muscles are probably shot, and they're making them do this back to back to back to back, day by day. That is mind blowing. Not only that, they were not feeding these people. They were making them eat like 800 calories a day. Like max was 800 calories a day. So, okay, I mean, they were feeding them. Let me take that back. But they were not feeding them enough. They were not fueling them properly. But in order to have a good show, you're going to burn. The more you burn, the less you take in. Obviously, you're going to see results. And with anybody who's heavier and has a lot of weight to lose, those results are going to go by fast. Like, the more you have to lose, the quicker you will also lose that body fat because your body needs it for fuel. Like, it's so easy to just quickly use that and burn it off. So, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Like, I guess, at one point they said in the interview that they were working out 8 hours a day. Imagine your entire day at work working out. And I'm sure there's gonna be guys out there like, "I work construction. I work out 7 hours a day, or I'm on my feet." I was a bartender, okay? I was on my feet for also 8 hours a day. There's different types of workouts. This was a very strenuous, like, what's the word? Not programmed, but like planned. This was strenuous, planned activities. It's not the same as just like a regular busy day at work, okay? All right, aside from that. But that's basically torture. That is not fitness. That is torture. Like, that's crazy. And we were watching this. Like, we were watching them just put these poor people through all this. Like, it's crazy to me. But anyway, what else did they do? They were shaking the camera when they fell to make it look like they literally shook the earth. Like, crazy directorial move, but like, anything for ratings, right? It's the 2000s. People were going to watch it. So basically, this is just real injuries happening with fake positivity. Like on TV, it looks so amazing and inspiring. And, like these people are losing all these weight, and Jillian and what's his name? What's the other guy's name? Bob are just like so inspirational and helping them. But really, Jillian Michaels was not very nice. She came off as kind of a bitch. And allegedly, the contestants, even came out and said that. But I don't know. I thought what was the craziest part of that is like the guy who lost the 200, what was it? What was it? It was 239 pounds in 6 months. That is that is nuts. Like, my smartwatch gets pissy with me if I don't move for 2 hours. And this guy was able to lose that much weight in 6 months. Like, that's not healthy. That's just crazy. And actually, they found out after the fact that that actually was very detrimental to their metabolic rates. So the people that were on the show were heavier, I guess, after the show wrapped. There was no aftercare. They just wrapped and they're like, "Congrats, you're skinny. Good luck. Have fun." And you just sent them on their way. They just sent them on their way, and they didn't tell them like, "Oh, by the way, we destroyed your metabolic rate." Like, not cute, not sweet, like, that's terrible, and then I think they followed, like, 14 of the contestants, and there was I think they said 4 that were heavier today than they were when they started the show. Why? Because their metabolic rates were completely butchered and destroyed, and then you look back on, like, some of the things let me I'm getting sidetracked again. Back to Jillian Michaels. Did anybody else think it was a pretty bold statement for her to whisper in that contestant's ear after he had just won? And mind you, the prize was $250,000, which is a lot of money. Like, good for him. That's a lot of money. But she whispers into his ear, "You just made me a millionaire. Here's 250K. I'm a millionaire." Not nice, Jillian, not nice. I think the documentary would have benefited a ton if Jillian would have been there, but it was probably a smart PR move that she wasn't. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And then Bob was there though, the Bob Harper, and then he was being accused of being verbally abusive to that Joelle girl. Um, I mean, it was mean, but, like, then it makes you question, like, what else was going on behind the scenes? Was Joelle just somebody that was constantly complaining and Bob had just like, I'm not defending him at all. I don't think it was very nice at all. But I feel like there's a lot that wasn't seen, and I feel like maybe he just snapped. I like my takeaways, like watching him on there, he seemed really positive and happy. Like he was the only one that had like a positive, happy experience throughout the entire thing when everybody else was just like, yuck, this is not cool. It was not cool. I almost died. I was airlifted in a plane because I was overworked, and everybody's just like negative, negative, negative. And then Bob's over here like, yeah, I'm not proud of a few things, but it was a really good time and it was a great experience. And yeah, I don't know. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. He had some feelings about it too. He watched it with me. His name's Bruce. He's got a little weight on him too. So, I feel like we all have a little bit of weight on us too. All right, back to, I guess, wrapping it up. At this point, do I think it was binge worthy? It was okay. Like, I feel like some people um, thought it was better than I did. I mean, it was all right. Like it was watchable. It wasn't anything that I was like, "Wow, like what a eye opener," or something like that. Like, no, I didn't really get that feeling from it. Like, I feel bad for those contestants, and I'm pretty sure that was like super traumatic for them. And I'm sure that they still feel really a certain way about the show and how they were portrayed on that show or what they went through and how they felt about it. But yeah, I don't know. It was all right. It was okay. The 2000s were wild, It just it was a time before everybody was like super sensitive and, TV was savage. It was Aside from that type of reality show, I really enjoyed the 2000s cinema. Like I said, the reality dating shows on MTV and VH1, primo. What were the other ones? Like Cheaters or The Next, where they get on the bus. That show was really good. I like that show. But yeah, so that was my thoughts on Fit for TV documentary on Netflix. If you've watched it and you caught some things that I didn't, that might be a fun discussion, let me know. Put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's chat. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll get into our last segment. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm sure you didn't go anywhere. I didn't really go anywhere either. I just took a time out to change segments. So let's have a little bit of a mom moment. Since we were talking about The Biggest Loser and weight loss, I kind of wanted to talk about weight loss postpartum and how that's been going for me. We're getting there. I'm pushing 11 months postpartum. My highest weight was, I'm just going to be honest with you, was my highest weight. I'm 5'10", 103 on a good day, and I got up to 190 pounds. I literally gained 50 pounds during my pregnancy, which is crazy to me to think about because um, I used to be heavier. I used to be a heavier girl. I think it was when I had just turned 30. So like, ew, I'm 37 now. So like 7 years ago, I was probably at my heaviest weight, which was not much less than my highest pregnancy weight. And I needed to make a life change. So back then, working out was a lot easier because I had free time. Like I didn't have to worry about where my child was or what time of day it was or if it was nap time or being too loud or anything like that. Like I rocked it back then and I started Beachbody. I was one of the coaches for Beachbody, which for me was a really good experience. Like I wasn't in it for, the money you would make as a coach or anything like that. Like it was okay, but I don't feel like it was like a significant side hustle or anything. And I really enjoyed helping the girls on my team and everything. But back then it was just a little bit easier for me to lose weight because I would wake up early before work and do a program or like every day I would go for walks and or running. I was running, gosh, during COVID, I was working out like crazy because I was one of those non-essential workers. So I would legit run 5 miles like every single day. I lost so much weight. I looked great. I think at my skinniest, like I lost a little over 40 pounds. And it took a while. Like I did it in a healthy way. I think the COVID, the running was a little excessive, but that was only for a short period of time. And I really enjoyed running. And I was kind of working up because I really wanted to do a half marathon at the time. I do not recommend running 5 miles a day every day if like for anything. Like you just don't need to do it. Just don't do it. But I did it at that time just because I had the time to and I thought I was going to do a half marathon. I never did. I'm okay with that. My knees hurt and I have some back issues. So maybe running really actually wasn't that great for me. Walking's better. Okay. Back to what I was talking about. I got sidetracked. It was easier to lose the weight. It was easier to lose the 40 pounds then than it has been postpartum. And I think the reason, like, that I believe that it's been so difficult because I feel like I was lied to at from the internet. I think the internet lied to me. Can you believe that? The internet lied. Yeah, they lied to me. They told me that if you breastfeed, you'll lose all these calories and you're gonna be super skinny and yada 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 yada. Turns out breastfeeding just makes you like hungry as shit, like so effing hungry. I felt like a tank, like a garbage disposal. Like that's all I wanted to do is just eat, eat, eat. So losing weight was really difficult. And when I started, it was just walking and doing simple things, but it's so hard also because now you're tired because you're breastfeeding because it takes so much energy out of you, but then you're also eating. So now you're tired, you're constantly hungry, and you have no motivation to do anything because like your whole living is basically just trying to survive those first 6 months and getting any type of sleep that you can. And base, yeah, just being I can't even explain it. Surviving is your main goal and keeping your baby alive, obviously. Postpartum weight loss has been a journey and I feel like I've learned a little bit more to love myself and the body that I'm in. Do I wish I was skinnier? 100% I do, but I see the way that my son looks at me and he doesn't care. He doesn't care how big I am or how small I am. He doesn't care if mama's hair is done or if mama comes in the room and she's like with her baldness. Like he doesn't care about those things. And, like I think to myself, why do I? And it's like, yes, I do care about like to a certain extent about my physical appearance and whatnot, but I just want to be happy on the inside. And I feel like that's the first part of weight loss, though, too, is just loving yourself and accepting your body in each of the stages that you're at. It takes time to lose weight postpartum. And I feel like I don't expect to lose the last 8 pounds until after I'm done breastfeeding. And I think that is contributed by my hormones. I feel like the hormones are still, you know, like figuring out what they're doing. And if you're really if you're thinking about extreme weight loss in a short amount of time, when has that ever worked? Like, when has that ever been successful for people? Like, these crash diets, I mean, sure, it'll work, but then 90% of the time you're gonna gain it right back. That's just like magic pills. There's no magic pill. Like, oh, I mean, I guess there's Ozempic and Mounjaro, but we're not gonna talk about that today. Maybe some other episode. I don't know. But there's literally just no magic pill. I feel weight loss is different for everybody. It's primarily hormonal. Like, everybody's different. What works for one person is not going to work for the other person. I think if you just love yourself and try and stay active, like try and get your steps every day. So what if you didn't get 10,000? If you get 7,000, that's great. That's amazing. But just doing something for yourself every day to stay active, it's so good for you, and it helps with your mental. And I mean, I would hate to be like in a workplace where I couldn't just get that 30 minutes to go for a walk, or you know what I mean? Just like clearing your head. It just does so much good for your soul and your mood and your attitude and eventually your body. Like, it takes time. And again, I'm going to look this up because now I'm very curious because I haven't weighed myself, or I haven't actually seen the numbers. I've weighed myself, but I haven't seen the numbers, and it fluctuates. Just because you've gained 2 pounds of water weight one day and you're 2 pounds heavier than you were the day before, like, it's fine. Trust me, you'll go to the bathroom and it'll be back down. I promise. But yeah, so I'm actually almost down. I am down. I'm down 38.2 pounds since having my baby. And I'm pretty sure like at least 14 or 15 pounds of that came off right after I had my son. But yeah, it's a work in progress, and I'll get there when I get there. And yeah, I feel like, if there's anything to take away, it's all about just being there for yourself. You are making great progress no matter what you do because you're trying, and it's all about progress and not perfection. So, yeah, who wants to be perfect? That's boring. Be unique, be yourself, be bold and beautiful, and I love you all the way that you are. All right, guys, we did it. That is a wrap on episode 2 of Mostly Accurate. I hope you had a good time. We survived the heat wave. We roasted some headlines. We spilled some Netflix tea. And we admitted that weight loss after kids is basically a full-time job with no benefits. So, next time somebody is trying to convince you that a green juice drink is going to change your life, don't believe them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're gross, and sometimes it's a matcha, and that's great for everybody. So let's do this again next week. I had so much fun. I hope you did too. I love chatting with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how your postpartum weight loss went, or just like how your weight loss is going in general. I know I have some friends currently on a weight loss journey, and I'm so freaking proud of them. And I'd like to be proud of you too. And I'm already proud of you, but I'd like to hear your stories and let me know what worked for you, what didn't work for you. And I have some fun stuff lined up for next week. So I can't wait to see you again. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you again for listening. Okay, love you. Bye. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The facts are fuzzy. Our stories and opinions are just that, stories and opinions, not meant to be taken as professional advice.